Hi everyone, this is Marcelo Borges from Western Computer, and today I'm going to be showing you the new data analysis mode introduced by Microsoft on Business Central 22, and now it is included in Business Central 23 as a standard. So if you are on BC 22 and over, this data analysis mode is available to you as a feature that you have to enable on the feature management. But if you are already in BC23, then the analysis mode is already enabled by default. Okay. So I'm here on the customer ledger entries. And for those of you who have paid attention to the latest changes in BC23, you're going to see this little flag here at the top that reads Analyze. I'm going to go ahead and enable it. And this is going to turn my table a little bit into an Excel mode. You can see some rows. You can see there is some coloring on the rows. And there is some manipulation that we can do here to do analysis over the data that is here, okay? So the main area of this data analysis mode is composed by the data here, the summary at the bottom, and the tabs at the top. And then we have the data manipulation area, which is composed by the columns and by the analysis filters. So let's say I want to summarize this table here, the customer ledger entries by customer. The first thing that I can do here, I can just go into my customer number, click on these three rows here, this menu option, and say group by customer number. And now what I'm getting here is a grouped view by the customer number. And if you scroll to the right, you're going to see that some fields are summed up, okay? Only the fields that are decimal values or integer values or any type of fields that can be added or summed are going to be showing a sum. Anything else like text, dates, and filters and times are not going to be displayed here. So as you can see, I have my original, my sum of original amounts here, my remaining amounts here, and this is grouped to me by customer number. If I want, I can work with this just like some other systems where you can just like grab and drop, okay? When we are customizing BC, we can do the same thing. And if I move the column there, there we go. Let me try to do that again. Sometimes you know how these things work. There we go. I move my sum of remaining amounts here, and I can see that here. I want to drill down into this, so I can just expand this here, and I will see the details, okay? I can apply some additional filters here if I want, so I can go into the analysis filters, and let's say I just want to see the open amounts. So I'm going to go into open, I'm going to say yes, and now if I go here and expand my group, you're going to see that I only have these totals here as my open amounts, okay? I can still drill down into this, so if I click, it's still going to take me into the regular BC pages. If I click on my customer number, this is still going to take me to my customer card. So everything works similarly to when we are not in the analysis mode, but we have these special views when we're doing the analysis. The summary at the bottom is going to show to us the number of rows that we currently see on screen. And depending on what we have selected on the screen, we're also going to see some summaries, some averages, some min and maxes. So for example, if I select two fields here for the remaining amounts, you will see that now I have an average for those two amounts. I have a count, I have a minimum, a maximum, and a sum, okay? This is very similar to Excel. So for those of you who are very familiar with Excel, you know that this is very, it looks like a lot like Excel. I'm going to unclick this. When I have this type of number here, rows 13 of 515, this means that there is a filter applied because my total data set has 415 records, but for some reason, my filters are only displaying 13. And this is because I applied the filter to the open field, remember? So if I go there and I remove this filter by selecting all, I'm going to see that my rows show as 415. So you're going to see on the summary that the number of the rows is going to display your total number of rows. And then if you apply some filters, it's going to be showing again the number of rows for that selection. Okay, so this is very useful for you if you want to filter the customer list for a certain state, a certain city, or any other type of filters you would like to apply. So the summary here is always going to show the number of rows that is currently viewed. whenever I have filters applied. So I'm going to go ahead and remove my filters. Okay. Going into the tabs at the top, the usefulness of this is that you can apply different filters and then you can save them so that you don't have to be replicating them all the time. So let's say, for example, I want to set my filter for my customer number 50,000. So I'm going to go ahead and select my customer number here. Where is it? Let's type here at the top. I cannot find it. There you go. Customer number 50,000. And I'm going to rename this to customer 50,000 and rename it. Okay. Now I can create another view, or I can just duplicate from the one that I'm currently at. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to duplicate. And now I'm going to apply a filter to my customer number 40,000. So let's find that field. There you go. You can see a little field here, a little icon of a filter. And now I'm going to unselect the 50,000 and I'm going to select the 40,000. And now I'm going to go ahead and rename this to customer 40,000. Rename that. Okay. And then the usefulness is that I can just go back and forth, and now my totals are reflecting that. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck this so that you can see when I check back, you're going to see that I have my customer 50,000 view again and my customer 40,000 view again. Another thing that is very nice here, I'm going to remove all my filters. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete all my views. Okay, I'm back to square zero. I'm back to analysis one. One thing that is very nice here is that we also have a pivot mode. And this is something that whoever is familiar with Excel is going to know how the pivot mode works. When I'm not in pivot mode and I start grouping fields, you're going to see that it starts grouping fields only on the row level. So I'm going to group by customer number, and then I'm going to group by document type. And then you will see that I need to start drilling down into my customer and then into my document number to see the information that I need. Now, if I reset this and I go into pivot mode, now what I can do here is actually have my customer number as a row on the row group. So I'm going to just click here and drag this into the row group. And now into the column labels, I'm going to put my document type. And we're going to get something similar to Excel. Now I have my customer number and my invoices here. And now I have my customer number and, the document type payment and the other document types, if there were any. But apparently there is none on this database. One thing that is also different here, you don't see a drill down right from here because we're in pilot mode. Okay. So if we were to try to see this in a detailed view, then we will need to remove the pivot mode to go back into the documents view. But the pivot mode will take you to the totals as well. One note over analysis, the analysis mode, is that there are some restrictions in number of records. In BC 22, if your database had more than 100,000 records, BC would not display the totals correctly. But now they have improved that to support more than 100,000 records. So if you are working on a data set that has over 100,000 records, BC is going to tell that to you, and it's going to enter a more specific mode to handle larger data. Okay, there are some restrictions that apply when you are in this kind of view. I'm not going to demo a larger data set because I don't have any demo database with that much amount of data. But you can read more on the Microsoft website for the restrictions when you're doing analysis for over 100,000 records. One nice thing here, and the last thing I'm going to show you in this video, is how to share analysis view. So let's say I'm going to filter this by my customer number again. So I'm going to apply a filter on my customer number 50,000. And I'm going to filter on the document type invoice. Okay, so I want to show this to somebody in the company. I want to share this with somebody at my company. So I can rename that to make it easier. Customer 50,000 invoices. And then I'm going to hit this downward arrow and I'm going to say copy link. Okay, you're going to have a link here, just like OneDrive when you're copying a link from OneDrive, or even when you're copying other links from BC. You're just going to hit copy. If you want to make that specific to a company, you can say, or you can also say, do not link to a specific company. And then I'm going to hit copy. And now this link has been copied to the clipboard. If I open a new tab and I paste this here, this is going to take me right into the view that I just shared. Okay. One last thing about and this is going to take you to the shared view that I just created. Give me just 1 second for the data to load. There you go. Go into my customer 50,000 invoices. One last comment about the analysis mode. Sometimes you might be on some lists that do not have this toggle. And if that happens, it's because the developer explicitly disabled the analysis view on a page. There is a way in the developing mode to disable this, but out of box, this little toggle here is going to be available for you in any lists in the system. If we're going to the item lists, you're going to see that. There you go. If we're going to vendors, if we're going to customers, you're always going to be seeing those toggles there. I hope you find this video useful on your day-to-day analysis. I hope this saves you some time from actually exporting data into Excel. And hopefully you're going to be able to do more analysis inside BC right there and then. And if you want to check more contents, you can check our website or our YouTube channel as well. And thank you so much for watching this.